When hasn't race been an issue in America? I mean, going back to the founding of America, race has always played a role in our culture and our politics, and we shouldn't pretend that it doesn't. And we can't solve for the problem if we pretend that race matters don't matter, because you know what, in this country, race matters really matter, and they've always really mattered. LBJ said, understood, I'm going to sign the civil rights legislation, and there goes the South. What he really could have said was, there goes the white vote. I mean, LBJ understood that from a cultural standpoint, and a social standpoint, and from a political standpoint, how impactful racial matters has been and would be in this country. I mean, he grew up in the South. He grew up in a segregated South. He got that this was a very important dividing line in American society, which he was trying to blur. And him signing the civil rights legislation realigned the parties. Part of my conversation, part of the conversation would be here, is that we've come a long way in a lot of different ways around race in this country. But if you look at our voting patterns, we're as segregated in how we vote today as we were 40 some years ago. Well, the 2016 election, well, it certainly played a role in 2008 and 2012, where you had the first African-American president and first African-American serious candidate running. And what I think you saw in the data is you saw a spike on both sides. There was a spike of enthusiasm around minorities that was helping propel the president, but there was also a spike in the other direction around the heightened sort of racial aversion among segments of the electorate that was working in the opposite direction. And this bifurcation, where you have more minorities voting one way and more whites voting the other way, to me it becomes problematic as we move forward, because how do we win the future when we're so segregated and continue to be increasingly segregated in sort of our politics and our voting patterns, and we're becoming more tribal at the level of voting and then less tribal. So my question is, is this healthy for democracy? I think we make the future of politics, and that's why I'm hopeful. That's why I'm at a place like this with a lot of great, smart kids that are bright-eyed, hopeful, wanting to go out there and change the world. I am hopeful that we can fix this, but I also understand that we don't fix this, and our politics is going to continue to be even more segregated and more polarized as the demographics of our country continue to change. If we don't fix for this, I think our future of politics in this country is going to be problematic at the most. I think you'll see more dysfunction. I think you'll see our politics come to our legislative bodies come to a complete halt, more so than they already have, if we don't solve for this problem. If we can't solve for the tribalism in our politics and be one big tribe and not several separate smaller tribes.